Hello everyone. We are going to study autoimmune diseases. So immune reactions against self-antigen is known as autoimmunity. They are an important cause of certain diseases. At least 3 requirements should be met before a disorder is characterized truly as it is due to autoimmunity. The presence of immune reactions specific for some self-antigens, and there is evidence of primary pathogenic significance. That is, reaction is not secondary to tissue damage, and there is absence of another well-defined cause of disease. Immune-mediated inflammatory diseases, they are classified or categorized as disease mediated by antibodies and immune complexes and diseases mediated by T cells. Diseases mediated by antibodies and immune complexes, they are further categorized as organ-specific autoimmune diseases, systemic autoimmune diseases, and diseases caused by autoimmunity or by reactions to microbial antigens. In first category, the diseases are autoimmune hemolytic anemia, autoimmune thrombocytopenia, myasthenia gravis, Graves' disease, Goodpasture syndrome. Systemic autoimmune disease include systemic lupus erythematosus, and the third category there is polyarthritis nodosa. Now, the diseases mediated by T cells. In organ-specific autoimmune diseases, type 1 diabetes mellitus is there and multiple sclerosis. Systemic autoimmune diseases due to T cell mediated, they are rheumatoid arthritis, systemic sclerosis, and Sjogren's syndrome. And in third category, that is diseases caused by autoimmunity or by reaction to microbial antigens, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, and Crohn's disease, and myasthenia, inflammatory myopathies are present. So in this lecture, we are going to study very important disease, systemic lupus erythematosus. SLE is a prototype of multisystem disease of autoimmune origin, which is characterized by vast arrays of autoantibodies, particularly anti-nuclear antibodies. It is acute or insidious in onset, and it is a chronic, remitting, relapsing disease, often with febrile illness, characterized by injury to skin leading to butterfly shaped rash, photosensitivity, involving the joints leading to joint pain and swelling, involvement of kidney causing lupus nephritis, and serosal membranes. SLE is fairly a common disease, and its prevalence is 1 in 2500. Similar to many autoimmune diseases, it affects women, and its frequency with a frequency of 1 in 700 among women of childbearing age group, with female to male ratio 9:1, whereas female to male ratio is only 2:1 in women with disease after the age of 65 or during the childhood. Prevalence of disease is 2 to 3-fold higher in blacks and Hispanics. American College of Rheumatology, they established a complex set of criteria for SLE. First is malar rash. The fixed erythema, flat or raised, over the malar eminences, tending to spare the nasolabial folds. Discoid rash, they are erythematous raised patches with adherent keratotic scaling and follicular plugging. Atrophic scarring may occur in older lesions. Then photosensitivity, rash as a result of unusual reaction to sunlight by patient history or physician observation. Oral ulcers involving the oral or nasopharynx, usually they are painless and usually observed by the physician only. Non-erosive arthritis involving 2 or more peripheral joints characterized by swelling or effusion. Then serositis, pleuritis, convincing history of pleuritic pain or rub heard by a physician. or there is evidence of pleural effusion. Pericarditis, which is documented by ECG or rub or evidence of pericardial effusion. In renal disorders, there is persistent proteinuria more than 0.5 gram per deciliter and presence of cellular casts, may be RBC cast, hemoglobin, granular, tubular or mixed. Then the neurologic disorders, seizures and psychosis in absence of offending drugs or known metabolic derangements. Hemolytic disorders, they include hemolytic anemia with reticulocytosis or leukopenia less than 4,000 cells per mm³ total on 2 or more occasions, or lymphopenia on 2 or more occasions, or thrombocytopenia in the absence of offending drugs. Immunologic disorders, anti-DNA antibody to native DNA in abnormal titer or anti-Smith antibody, presence of antibody. Positive findings of antiphospholipid antibodies based on abnormal serum level of Ig or IgM anticardiolipin antibodies, a positive test for lupus anticoagulant, and a false positive serologic test for syphilis, known to be positive for at least 6 months, and confirmed by negative Treponema pallidum immobilization or fluorescent treponemal antibody absorption test. Antinuclear antibodies, an abnormal titer of antinuclear antibody by immunofluorescence or equivalent assay at any point in time or in absence of drugs known to be associated with drug-induced lupus syndrome. So, lupus nephritis. Lupus nephritis affects up to 50% of SLE patients, and it is due to immune complex deposition in glomeruli, tubule, or peritubular capillary basement membranes, and even in larger blood vessels. Other injury may include thrombi in the glomerular capillaries, arterioles, or arteries. Morphological classification of lupus nephritis. It is recognized by 5 patterns. First, minimal mesangial or class 1. Class 2 is mesangial proliferative. Class 3 is focal proliferative. Diffuse proliferative class 4 and membranous class 5. Mesangial lupus glomerulonephritis, it is seen in 10 to 25% of the patient and is characterized by mesangial cell proliferation and immune complex deposition without involvement of glomerular capillaries. There is no or slight in class 1 and moderate in class 2 increase in both mesangial matrix and number of mesangial cells. So, mild or no mesangial matrix or number of cells are increased in class 1 and moderate increase is seen in class 2. There is granular mesangial deposits of immunoglobulins and complements. Focal proliferative glomerulonephritis or class 3, it is seen in 20 to 35% of patients and it is defined by fewer than 50% involvement of all glomeruli. The lesion may be segmental involving only portion of the glomeruli or global involving the entire glomeruli. Affected glomeruli show crescent formation, fibrinoid necrosis, proliferation of endothelial and mesangial cells, infiltrating leukocytes, and eosinophilic deposits or intracapillary thrombi. Some patients may progress to diffuse proliferative glomerulonephritis class 4 or they can completely heal or may lead to chronic global or segmental glomerular sclerosis. So this microphotograph is showing focal proliferative type lupus nephritis. In this, there are 2 focal necrotizing lesions in the glomeruli. Diffuse proliferative glomerulonephritis or class 4, it is the most severe form of lupus nephritis occurring in 35 to 60% of the patients. The glomerular changes are similar to class 3. In this, more than 50% of the glomeruli they are involved. So the microphotograph is showing marked increase in cellularity throughout the glomeruli. It is diffuse proliferative type lupus nephritis. When prominent subendothelial deposits, they create a homogeneous thickening of the capillary wall, giving the appearance of wire loops. It is seen in class 3 and class 4 lupus nephritis. Class 5 or membranous glomerulonephritis is characterized by diffuse thickening of the capillary walls, which is similar to idiopathic membranous glomerulonephritis seen in 10 to 15% of lupus nephritis. The skin manifestations are characterized by erythema that affects the facial area, malar area, giving the butterfly appearance in 50% of the patients. In addition to this, rashes may be seen on extremities and trunk. Urticaria, bullae, maculopapular lesions or ulcerations can also occur, and exposure to sunlight incites or accentuates the erythema, that is, photosensitivity is seen. So, histologically, in skin, there is vacuolar degeneration of the basal layer of the epidermis, and the dermis show variable edema and perivascular inflammation. Vasculitis and fibrinoid necrosis may also be seen. In immunofluorescence microscopy, there is deposition of immunoglobulin and complement along the dermoepidermal junction. Non-erosive sinusitis is seen in joints. In CNS, basic pathologic basis of CNS is not entirely clear, but it is due to antibodies against synaptin membrane protein, and the symptoms are due to acute vasculitis. Non-inflammatory occlusion of small vessels by intimal proliferation is also noted. Inflammation of the serosal lining membrane, it could be acute, subacute or chronic. During the acute phases, the mesothelial surfaces are covered with the fibrinous exudate. Later they become thickened, opaque and coated with fibrous tissue that may lead to total obliteration of the serosal cavity. Now, another important involvement is cardiovascular system involvement. It is seen in 50% of the patient and may manifest as damage to any layer of the heart. Myocarditis may be seen or valvular abnormalities, primarily of mitral and aortic valve. Valvular endocarditis is seen, known as Libman-Sachs endocarditis. In this, single or multiple 1 to 3 mm warty deposits are seen on heart valve on either surface of the leaflets. Spleen is enlarged with capsular thickening. There is follicular hyperplasia. Lungs will show pleuritis and pleural effusion, and it affects 50% of the patients. Alveolar injury with edema and hemorrhage is also noted. There is a chronic interstitial fibrosis and secondary pulmonary hypertension. So the clinical manifestations of SLE, 100% patient will have hematologic abnormalities, 80 to 90% will have arthritis, 85% cases skin is involved, in which butterfly rashes, erythema is seen, fever in 55 to 85% cases, fatigue in 80 to 100% cases, weight loss is seen in 60% cases, kidney is involved or lupus nephritis is seen in 50 to 70% cases, neuropsychiatric manifestations are seen in 25 to 35% cases, pleuritis in 45% cases, myalgia in 35%, pericarditis is seen in 25% of the patients, gastrointestinal manifestation in 20%, Raynaud's phenomenon, ocular manifestations and peripheral neuropathy. It is also seen in 15% of the patients. So in SLE, there are butterfly rash all over the cheek, erythematous rash to exposed areas to sunlight. There is lupus nephritis involving proteinuria, hematuria, tachypnea, cough, pleural inflammation is seen. Raynaud's phenomenon is noted, pericarditis, weight loss, fatigue, fever, arthritis, emotional liabilities, hematologic disorders and neurologic disorders are seen. Thank you.